This is Knuckle-up TV. I'm with Mr. Ben Doughty. How are you doing, sir?
Very good today. How are you, Frank?
Yeah, not too bad. It's Valentine's yesterday.
Yeah, to me it was just Sunday. I have to,
Did you get a date? Was you on a date last night? Or
I'd like to lie and say that me and what's her name, Nicole Scherzinger were out, but no, I was just kicking it home, just getting on with work.
Definitely. A busy day today. So Ben, we're at the West Ham Boxing Club. Can you tell me a bit about yourself? Obviously, I see a gentleman skipping over there.
Yeah, that's Regal Robert Asagba. He's undefeated welterweight, 3-0. He's going to be a champion at some point. He's just on his start of his journey. Okay. Myself, I had 30 amateur fights over a long period of time, between 1981 and 2004. Which I think is a modern day record for the span of, it's certainly not by anywhere near the most fights anybody ever had in the vest, but it is about the longest career from start to finish. There was a big gap in the middle which I call the 1990s, but the more or less said about that the better. That's probably another interview. But yeah, then I went into coaching after that, 2004. Spent 3 years at a Repton as an amateur coach. Got my professional trainer's licence 2008. I've had it ever since and took out a manager's licence as well, but at the minute I'm just concentrating on young Robert over there.
So is your main priority, yeah?
As far as from the boxing coaching point of view, yes. I am involved in other aspects of the game, but that's the only fighter that I work with.
I understand. So were you from East London? Or
no, in actual fact, I was born in Birkenhead near Liverpool.
Right, okay.
We moved to the Cotswolds when I was 8, and I made my way up to the smoke like a lot of people do when I was 19.
Okay. So tell me, obviously I've seen you on, it's not around anymore, but Tip TV.
Yeah, Tip TV was...
Tip TV, it's interesting.
It was a nice little platform. It was initially started as a kind of forecasting show,
yes.
Where they used to have hopefully experts or at least authorities in various sports fields who would try and predict the results, well, in my case, of upcoming fights at the weekend. As it organically developed, the show, we got a little slot where we'd have a special guest or two in every week, and we'd interview them and talk about their stories as well as breaking down the weekend's action and reviewing the weekend that was. And it was a really good platform. Really enjoyed working with the guys, and it's a shame it came to an end. Just because I think it's
sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it was one of those things.
I used to watch it. I used to watch a bit of it. I thought it was quite interesting.
Yeah, hopefully it was.
Viewing that was.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it was. I think my favourite episode was, funny enough, when ahead of Billy Joe Saunders versus Chris Eubank Jr., we had Ambrose Mendy, Spencer Fearon, and an ex-pro called John Benny in the studio, and that was about the best one I think we did of many. And luckily we got the right winner, which was Billy Joe Saunders, who's, as you know, he's only in the
definitely he's over there training.
Yeah.
So obviously you're a big boxing fan, yeah? So obviously involved with the boxing game. When you're watching boxing, who stands out for you? When you're seeing someone box and whoever's fighting, who do you focus your eyes on?
You mean historically or currently? Currently, my favourite fighters, a little bit biased, but I think he would be in any case. Billy Joe Saunders, one of my favourite fighters, because I'm a big fan of finesse, and he's like a kind of bit of a latter-day Willie Pep southpaw, a bit of a lofty compliment, but there you go. I also like Guillermo Rigondeaux. I was an admirer of Floyd Mayweather, assuming he's retired. I use the past tense. I was never in love with him.
Nor was I, really, to be honest with you. It took quite a few years for me to adjust to him, because he weren't the amazing ring craft, amazing ring skill. I think for myself, it wasn't the full package. Personality-wise, he ain't the most nicest of people, is he?
Well, you're funny you should say that. I actually met him.
You met him, yeah?
Yeah, I met him last Thursday.
When he was over here, yeah?
Yeah, when he was over here, 2 weeks ago Thursday.
Yeah.
And he was a bit more charming than I imagined. I was prepared to find him truculent or prima donna, but he actually was quite engaging. But having said that, I stress I only spent 10 minutes with him.
10 minutes with him?
Yeah.
Well, when I was out in Vegas last year, there's like 10 goons around him. And you're saying to yourself, well, hang on a minute, if you're one of the greatest champions of the world, you don't obviously MPs and presidents have security around them, yeah?
Yeah.
But you don't need 10 guys around you, stand back type.
Well, that was what Mike Tyson said, wasn't it? He said, he can't even take his kids to school, he said, on his own. He said greatness is about it being accepted by the people, not hiding from the people.
Oh, you see, just what you just said makes a lot of sense, because if you think about it, he's comparing himself to saying that Muhammad Ali, he was far greater than Muhammad Ali. And he put him in his top 5, but he put him as number 5 of his greatest fighters. And he put himself as number 1. I think Roberto Duran was in there, Pernell Whitaker was in there, and a couple of other people were in there. I think another...
You'd have thought Sugar Ray Leonard would have made it.
I think was Sugar Ray Leonard in it, I'm not sure.
But to be honest, all that list revealed was a chronic lack of historical depth anyway, because basically Floyd was talking about fighters in the colour TV era, and that was all he was aware of, you know. I mean, presumably he must have had Sugar Ray Robinson in there, but...
No, he never had Sugar Ray Robinson.
Well, that's an obvious fallacy for a start, isn't it? Because...
or Joe Louis.
Well, I don't think I put Joe Louis in the top. Joe Louis in the top 5. No, certainly not of any weight category. I'd put him in the top 5 heavyweights most likely. But the thing is, if you look at Sugar Ray Robinson's record in 1951, he had 128 wins, 1 loss and 2 draws with 87 knockouts, and he hadn't been stage managed to that record. He'd actually had to fight tough opponents because he couldn't get fights for much of his early career. You know, he didn't get a shot at the world title, which was the undisputed world title, against Tommy Bell, the welterweight title, until 1947, when he was a veteran of scores of fights. So it's just Floyd has probably been the best managed fighter and self-managed, I will hasten to add, really. He's probably had the most perfectly orchestrated career of all time. Gene Tunney once said that a successful prize fighter should seek to avoid harm and to make money above all else. And if you take that credo as the absolute, then Floyd is the greatest, purely by that definition, but not by the definition of the greatest prize fighter ever lived. You know what I mean?
No, it's opinionated, isn't it? It's opinion based, isn't it? I mean, if you think about it, okay, he beat Alvarez, went up a weight, Shane Mosley, De La Hoya, etc., etc. But in my opinion, I wouldn't put him in. I put him in my top 5, but I wouldn't put him as number 1.
Hey, Joe, do you want to turn it back now?
Oh, it's on to you already.
No, it looks like it's turned. This is Billy Joe Saunders, just so we don't... I think Billy Joe Saunders, who's ever the prankster, actually moved the camera a little bit. See, I know we don't want it to... Cheers, champ. The quick picture before you go.
Yeah, it's in my opinion, honestly, I mean, what I'm saying to you, Muhammad Ali, when he was in Africa... Yeah. I'm not comparing the two. When he was in Africa, Rumble in the Jungle, he had Africans surround him, and it was just natural. It was
not like a security man inside.
No,
absolutely mobbed.
It was natural. Let's be honest about it. It was like godlike. It was very godlike. It was very natural. It was like he knew he knew about himself. He was confident about himself.
See, with Ali, material things meant nothing to him. And he genuinely loved the common people. That's not spin. His whole buzz in life came from being Muhammad Ali and connecting with people and being recognised. And Ali, unlike looking for security or looking to keep people away, he would get bored in his hotel room and he'd go down the lobby and he'd talk to people, and he enjoyed. I mean, he was obviously had a huge ego, but he also had a heart of gold. So he would enjoy walking outside and finding the whole street, stopping the traffic. That was his buzz. But it wasn't a sort of an arrogant buzz. It was he enjoyed connecting with people, and he walked through the ghetto. He talked to the hookers, you know, and the wine heads, trying to tell them to live better, you know, but without patronising them.
But see, going back to Floyd, he was charging apparently £70 a photo.
He was. I was given a free £600 VIP ticket, and I gave my photo away to someone else because I understand why people get them, but personally, I don't like to get the school photograph queued up for a picture. So I gave mine away to a fellow who'd come along, and somebody actually said to me, "Did you get your picture?" And I said, "I don't want one like that. I'll get one later." He said, "Oh, you won't get one any other way." But luckily, thanks to artist Patrick John Killian, I got one 5 minutes after I was told I wouldn't get it, just on my phone. So
nice.
Everyone was happy.
Well, definitely. What's your plans for the year then, Ben? We've got a long year ahead.
I was fighting boxing. Obviously, we've got Robert Asagba. We're looking to get him out again in April, then again in May. Okay. I'd like him to have a shot at the Southern Area welterweight title this year. That's our main goal because it's a traditional title, and it's something I've got strong views on about the plethora of titles these days that are a little bit more bogus, you might say. Aside from that, I'm looking at continuing to do the historical London boxing tours. I'm looking at organising a Vegas package to Khan versus Alvarez.
Sounds good. Who's your favourite for that one? Canelo?
I have to favour Alvarez, because I like Amir, and I wouldn't write him off, but I just think, as Robert was saying to me the other day, as it goes, he's going to have to be so disciplined and so execute that fight plan to perfection and not switch off for 12 rounds. And I don't think that's going to happen because Alvarez, he may be a little bit slow of foot, but he's not slow of hand. He's going to be a light heavyweight by the time he gets in that ring, Alvarez. And it's just, I think, fair play to him for taking this fight, but I think it's very, very audacious. So I'd love him to win, but I'm not going to. If you give me some money to bet on it, I'm not going to bet on him. I'm sorry.
He's with a very wise trainer like Virgil Hunter. Do you think Virgil Hunter would risk his reputation and act like, to obviously go up a weight?
But when you say risk his reputation, is Virgil Hunter's reputation necessarily overtly damaged if Amir loses a fight just when they've taken such a tough challenge anyway?
Where does he go from there? Okay, let's say hypothetically he loses, and he loses bad, and he gets stopped. Where does Amir go from there?
That's a great point, Frank. I mean, if he loses badly, then he may have damaged his market value. If he loses with credit, because you can get stopped and still cover yourself in glory. If you get banged out early, it tends to be something that's difficult to put a positive spin on, with the exception of Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler, but I digress. But if Amir performs heroically and does well and gets stopped late or even goes a distance and loses, because let's be honest, it's very hard to get a decision against Alvarez over there. We've seen it before. I think he's still got the big Kell Brook fight and big fights out there, so I don't think he's damaged himself at all.
Weekend as well, isn't it?
It's Cinco de Mayo, as they call it. Yeah. What I think, Frank, is if he performs credibly, let's say he loses, but performs credibly or even heroically, I think he's still got plenty of market value intact, and he's got big fights to Kell Brook and Tim Bradley.
He won't get the money though. If he loses and he loses bad, the money's not there on the table. With Kell Brook, it's not going to happen because it's happening right as we speak. The market value is that it would sell Wembley. The market value is pay-per-view. Market value is £2,000 ringside ticket. He loses to Canelo, everything's going to cut in half. It's not
That's interesting.